advancing a more circular economy and saving our oceans are important priorities of the United States government. In December 2020, the United States Congress passed the Save Our Seas 2.0 Act. And this was the first time that circular economy was defined in United States legislation. So that was very important. The legislation also instructed USAID to develop strategies and implement programs to combat ocean plastic pollution. In response, USAID launched the Save Our Seas initiative, which is supporting 14 country, regional, and global programs in key countries and regions that collectively represent 40% of global mismanaged plastic waste. To date, USAID has invested $103 million in the Save Our Seas initiative and has prevented 73,000 metric tons of plastic, which is the equivalent of almost 8 billion plastic bottles, prevented that plastic from polluting our environment. And we have awarded 70 grants to local organizations worth $10 million and also trained 12,000 individuals in solid waste management and the 3 Rs: reduce, reuse, and recycle. So how are we going about this? USAID's work to combat ocean plastic pollution began in 4 Asian countries and just recently expanded to countries in Africa, South America, and Caribbean and Pacific Islands. Over the past 7 years of doing this work, we have been learning, and we compiled that learning into what we call our 5 interconnected building blocks that comprise a local systems approach to really tackling the challenge of plastic pollution. So the first of these building blocks is to create data-driven policies that enable a circular economy. Examples of such policies include creating recycling and labeling standards, introducing recycled content mandates, regulating or phasing out single-use plastics, or introducing extended producer responsibility, EPR, in which producers help fund or manage the collection and recycling of their plastic products. Over the past several years, we have helped the country of Sri Lanka to introduce EPR. And here in Kenya, I'm happy to say that we are supporting KEPSA on the efforts to sensitize the private sector on EPR as you start to implement EPR here. The second building block is to increase infrastructure investment and improve solid waste services. Through our global flagship program, Clean Cities Blue Ocean, we are helping 25 cities in 10 countries to assess the gaps in the current solid waste management systems and create solid waste management plans that guide investment and then help cities to optimize their systems, such as through better collection routes that save money, fuel, and time, as well as look for additional funding options for their solid waste management systems. And also here in Kenya, we're working with the Nairobi-based recycler Trash Thread Textile to establish 12 aggregation points with baling machines across the country to increase the amount of the recycled plastic that they can collect, and that they're expected to increase by 5 times with this investment. Embracing circularity both stimulates and requires innovation. The third building block is to create green jobs and local innovations with an emphasis on locally appropriate business models and technologies. Earlier this week, I had the opportunity to participate in the Mombasa Plastic Prize Incubator Matchmakers Forum. And I'm really excited how USAID has been supporting youth innovators in Mombasa on technologies and products that are specifically suitable for Mombasa. Just as an example, one of the winning teams from the Mombasa Plastic Prize, Twenda Green EcoCycle, is turning recycled plastic into high-quality, durable, and affordable eco-desks. And just last month, they received their first order for 20 desks. Yeah, it's very good. and They got to meet the King of England too, by the way, who was visiting Kenya. The fourth building block is widespread and sustained behavior change for increased recycling and reduced demand for single-use plastics. Development agencies can support the formative research that helps us better understand what creates sustained behavior change. What we've learned so far is that awareness and education are only part of what is needed. We also need to make the new practices more convenient and ensure that they conform with cultural norms. And the fifth building block is ensuring that we have an inclusive and equitable system. And this is really important and cuts across all our work. Today, informal workers are really responsible for so much of the sorting and processing of recyclables in many countries. As we strengthen solid waste management systems and implement new policies like EPR, we need to make sure that we are improving the livelihoods of informal workers while also creating safer working conditions. USAID's Women in Waste Economic Empowerment activity has trained more than 700 women, mostly those at the bottom of the value chain. And with the help of small in-kind grants, together with business skills, personal empowerment, and gender-based violence prevention training, these women have become more confident and they've become more active in their community, as well as earning more money. Making our economy more circular is a huge challenge. And even though USAID is the world's largest bilateral organization providing development assistance, our capacity isn't even close to what is needed. So under the Save Our Seas initiative, we are building partnerships with other development organizations, as well as with the private sector, to leverage each other's resources and networks and expertise. Through a partial loan guarantee provided by the U.S. Development Finance Corporation, USAID has already helped impact investor Circulate Capital to mobilize $106 million in private sector financing to increase the recycling capacity in countries in Asia. Also, the Norwegian Development Agency has provided us $3.4 million to expand our Clean Cities Blue Ocean program. And in the next month or so, we will be announcing a large new alliance with one of the world's largest brand companies that will be focusing on assisting recycling and reuse enterprises, as well as collaborating on implementing extended producer responsibility and replicating and scaling our Women in Waste economic empowerment model. So in closing, I just want to emphasize that building circularity really takes a holistic society approach. At USAID, it means engaging the national and local governments, the private sector, the academia, civil society, citizens, and informal workers, because all have a role to play. Thank you very much.